Welcome back, everybody. We're coming out of closed session. Ryan Plotz, our city attorney, will report out on what transpired during the closed session.
One moment.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Swatsky. The council met in closed session to provide general direction to its labor negotiators regarding the compensation for the prospective city manager. That direction was to move forward with the open session item that's on your agenda tonight to approve an employment agreement between the city and Jenny Short with the compensation, including all fringe benefits as stated in that employment agreement. So at the time of that open session item, the council will consider an open session formal approval of that employment agreement and appointment of Ms. Short as city manager.
Thank you. And just to confirm, Ryan, there's no public comment on reporting out of closed session, correct?
Correct.
All righty. Moving on to public comment, item number 6. The public is invited to present petitions, make announcements, or provide other information to the city council that is relevant to the scope of authority of the city of Blue Lake that is not on the agenda. Everyone will be provided up to 3 minutes. Does anyone wish to speak on public comment? Yes, Erin, go ahead.
Thanks for letting me speak. I'm Erin McClure from McClure Trust. And first of all, I'd like to talk about transparency. You guys screamed up and down, we all did for years, about the lack of transparency when Mandy was here. We have the same thing happening now. If anyone could tell me how much this letter that you guys all wrote and posted all over Facebook about me cost the city, because I was never able to get the information from Jill. I asked numerous times, numerous phone calls, would not call me back or give me the information. So that and the public records requests that we get are filled with the same pages over and over again and very costly and not getting all the information. So you guys need to know that. Second of all, after this letter about me chocked full of lies went out in the public forum, I received nasty messages from people. I was taken to court. Some man in the area is telling the court system that I blew out the windows in his home. So probably the people in here in this room who know me know I would never do something like that. There's another lunatic in town that's claiming that I throw horse manure all over her house. The worst thing that happened was last week. I have 2 dogs that I carry with me everywhere. You guys saw the pictures of them. Show, if you want to show the pictures of these to these people. Those dogs were poisoned with rat bait in the backseat of my pickup, and that small dog died. Yeah, those were dogs that slept on my bed. The city of Blue Lake and the people sitting in this city council should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. That letter says that I've never negotiated, that the city of Blue Lake has negotiated in good faith for over a decade, and that is 100% lie. Jill Duffy sat at my house, talked to me for 3 hours, twisted all the words around, and then this letter came out. Something is going to be done. I want a formal apology and this letter erased from the record. I'll take the pictures of my dogs. I mean it, John, something's better change.
Thank you, Erin. Any further public comment? Yes, go ahead.
Do I have to talk into that?
Yeah, if you want to just bend it down a little bit, maybe. There you
All right. I want to start out by thanking city council members, particularly Kat and John, for coming out on Sunday and helping out and checking up on us when it was flooding. And of course, Glenn Barnard, and all the folks at Public Works, and neighbors and community members who came out and offered to help and filled sandbags to stem the flood up at the gas station. That said, sandbags aren't enough. They're certainly not enough in my neighborhood. This is the 3rd year in a row that the water is flooded from the breach in the bank at the end of Charton down Charton 2.5 blocks down into my yard and my neighbor's yard. completely flooding our yards, a foot to 3 feet in the back, and filling our crawl spaces and making a huge mess. And scary, because we're preparing for it possibly to come into our house. So third winter in a row after 30 years of living here, never having happened. So I think it's safe to say we have a chronic flood problem now. And of course, you all know I presented in October from what I've seen and experienced in the work that I've been doing, trying to do what I can to mitigate flooding. And I feel like I've done everything that I possibly can. I've been reaching out to the Department of Water Resources, the county. They really, I don't have any clout. I have no standing. They need to hear from public officials about what's going on. First, if the city can't manage it, but clearly the city can't, it needs to go to the county. If the county can't manage it, and I don't think the county can, then it goes to the state. The folks at Department of Water Resources said that's how it works. So y'all need to be reaching out to the Department of Water Resources. I have names and numbers of people to talk to there. I'm willing to work with you all on this. In October, we had time to do more, but it was me trying to recruit a few volunteers to get in there and do. There's 566 feet. That's a city block down at the end of, I've already told you this, at the end of Powers Creek. That's just a web, narrow, like not even 4 feet wide. All this water's coming down off the mountain through the city. The drainage is collecting, the city infrastructure drainage is collecting into Powers Creek and going down and hitting a wall of 566 feet of vegetation before it opens up at the Rancheria and go out to the river. So yes, we have a problem up there, but we also have a problem with where the water can go. So I know my time's up, but I implore you to prioritize a meeting for the people who are directly impacted and the
Thank you.
people that can do something about it, like as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Okay.
Who's next? Public comment? Yes, go ahead. Just our cameras, is it off?
I'm Rebecca Collins, and I'm glad to see we're going to get a new city manager, and here we are again. We're going to get a new city manager and make her the city clerk and the financial person. So here we are again with no city clerk. I don't see in the budget that any money's been budgeted for a city clerk, and we've kind of flown the job willy-nilly, but I think this new city manager deserves a city clerk. Jill is stretched. I mean, we keep stretching our city clerks. Our city managers. We're never gonna get a city manager who can really do her job like she needs to do without someone to help out. You know, we need somebody taking these minutes. We need somebody in the office. I look at all these people we employ by the city. I don't know any of them. I know part of them probably work for Parks and Recs, and that's all fine and well to have a big staff at Park and Recs. But we need a staff in our city hall. So I would just like to at least see that we're going to recognize monies for a city clerk. However, we have to cut the budget to do that. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Further public comment? Julie Christie, go ahead. Oh, sorry, I'll get you next, Angela.
I hear you guys. I'm sorry. Yes. Can you hear me still okay? I want to just wish everybody a really happy New Year's. We've gone through a lot, and I want to give some personal thank yous to our council. You guys have taken on a lot that now is becoming a little more transparent to the public of how much this community is going to value your critical thinking and your participation here in the near future. I want to thank Jill. You've stepped in and had to do exactly what you did for the fairgrounds, and again, I applaud you. Thank you so much for doing two amazing things for our community. And Justin, recording, all our public that's there and been continuing to be there. I think it's really something that we should all be grateful for, that we at least have this opportunity, that we are allowed to have these conversations without being censored. And I do think that there is always a root to a lot of problems. We can talk about the flooding. I did personally make calls into Caltrans and the county. We need to, I agree with the prior speaker, do our best to reach out to them. That is a lot of the overflow that we're receiving, not only just in town, but surrounding areas are also being impacted. So anytime you guys are really willing to speak up during supervisors meetings and HCOG meetings, you're actually going to have a bigger influence than ratting out and like our council. No offense. I'm on those forums. I understand it's hard, but we need to reach out to our public works and for the county and are doing their jobs. We are going to continue to have the issues we're having. Thank you to our public works through this time out there doing everything that they can do. And as far as the tanks go, I made comment in the very beginning of this that really the most appropriate thing would probably be to move the tanks and to bring in personal matters when it comes to dogs. Yeah, I am very upset to hear anybody would make comments about that and want an apology when they can't give one themselves. So anyways, we're moving forward. And I think the best thing to move forward with is dialogue. We need to focus on finding economy for the town, and we need to focus on infrastructure for the town. Step one, public safety, also is right. Thank you.
Any further public comment? Angela, go ahead.
Hey guys, Angela Dare. I don't have a comment, actually. I just was looking at the agenda and the minutes that you guys are going to be okaying, and I'm wondering why November 25th, there's no public comments. Great job.
Any other public comment?
That's it.
Okay. Last call for public comment. All right. Seeing none, let's bring it back to council. Moving on to item number 7, the consent agenda.
This will be the place where we can talk about that one.
Does anyone wish to pull anything?
I need to pull 7A. B has some corrections. C has the corrections of the end of the minutes.
Yeah.
Kind of falling off, and then on the agenda, E indicates December 6, 2026 instead of 2025. But, so,
If we can flag those, that would be great, and I can get that done up.
Any others?
Are we're pulling them all then?
We're not pulling all of them unless you need them pulled.
No, I wanted to pull F.
Okay. Information only. Any others?
Are you gonna want, if I can ask, are you gonna wanna have a discussion around F?
Well, I want to ask you a tiny discussion about it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any others? Council? Does the public wish to have any items pulled? All right. So we have all our minutes. AB, how would we like to do this?
Go ahead and lead off with Michelle, and when you start going into the page numbers, make sure you're giving me a page number and a line reference.
sure. Page number 4, April 22nd, 2025. This meeting was a regular meeting, not a special council meeting.
Thank you.
Down at line 30, motion was by Councilmember Louis Lusso and seconded by Councilmember Napier. She and I are transposed a few times in the minutes.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask John, how do you fix that when you're using the AI?
Well, if it's text, you could probably just.
I'm sorry?
You could probably cut and paste it.
Oh, I can change it on the Word document, but
Sorry.
that was being recorded by AI
Right.
and translated.
Gotcha.
So I'm just wondering how, if you're using AI in the future
Yeah.
to capture these, how we do that.
You would probably go ahead and review the video, but
Okay.
I mean, it's.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah, I
fine.
guess just
Okay, no, that's
review
all,
the
it's all good. I'm just wanting to make sure if
Mm-hmm.
there's some setting that needs to be done. I don't know.
Right.
quick
Okay,
rough
next one.
draft up.
So the next one is page 5, line 33, Councilmember Napier reported on attendance at a meeting, and then Councilmember Scafani reported on HWMA Director Evaluation and Budget, RCEA rate model meeting, and city website updates.
Well,
So that was 34, line 34.
I am not seeing Napier here on page 5.
Yeah, on page 5, it should be, instead of Councilmember Scafani, it should
Should
be
be.
Napier.
Okay, thank you.
And then on line 36, instead of Councilmember Louis Lusso, it should be Councilmember, or Mayor Sawatsky, reporting on the Chamber of Commerce, et cetera. There's a lot more that are kind of like this.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
that's.
is there another more efficient way to
The only other
deliver
efficient
these?
way to have done it would have been to send this to me in advance,
just
and I
got
could
it
have just
today.
handed out corrected
Sorry.
minutes. No, it's
Yeah.
fine. I mean, that's,
Can we, can we just have her submit all those? to
no,
you?
because now we've got this here, and we just
Got
need to
it.
go through and clean them
Okay.
up. It's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
It's,
Okay.
I think it's just not what you were expecting by being able to use this tool, you know,
Sure.
so.
Yeah. In the public comment section at line 53, included in that public comment was Terry Bayless, Barbara Russell, Rebecca Collins, Julie Christie, and Lynn Glenn was not part of that comment section. Because I just, oh yeah, it was just plug my earbuds in and just watch the video.
Okay.
4-hour meeting, no problem.
So let me make sure I got this correct. You got Terry Bayless, Barbara Russell, Rebecca Collins,
Julie Christie,
Julie Christie. But not Lynn Glenn.
right.
So who was being attributed to Lynn Glenn?
That was Terry Bayless.
Okay,
Thanking the Public Works crew for their quick response and overtime work
Yeah,
repairing a collapsed sewer pipe. Is that right, Terry?
okay.
Next page. Page 6. Okay, just to complete the name, Linda Cooley
Thank you.
was the person making the comments. And then Lynn Glenn needs to be added to that comment down below regarding council wanted to meet with the planning commission and have more discussions, and this was regarding a particular item. Can't remember what it was. Oh, I think it was the housing element. Sorry, there was a discussion about the housing element, so it was a comment on that.
Okay, so the reference to Lynn Glenn on the prior
Yeah.
page needs to
Right.
be removed, but she did address council, but on a different item.
Correct.
You do have Julie Christie listed here.
Yes. Mhm.
So was that accurate?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll remove her from.
Well, actually, It was, she did comment on Zoom, technical issues around Zoom, sound challenges, and had a suggestion earlier, I think, about moving reports to the beginning of the meeting and requested manager highlights for better public visibility. So that was all correct in there, yes. And then moving on to line 82, same page, line 82. Instead of the second being Councilmember Napier, it was Councilmember Louis Lusso. On 82, line 82. And then line 88, it says Councilmember Louis Lusso. It was Councilmember Scafani. And then included in that line, that's thread, should be Rebecca Collins endorses Lynn Glenn and her work in the community. Line 90.
I'm sorry, say this again?
Rebecca Collins endorses Lynn Glenn and her work in the community. This was regarding Lynn Glenn's appointment to the Safety Commission. Then line 90. The motion was to appoint Lynn Glenn, and that was made by Councilmember Scafani, with the second being Louis Lusso. So just a flip on that one.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Two cities.
Yeah, okay, so line 97 on page 7. There is Councilmember Scafani, it should be Councilmember Napier, asked about the criteria insurance companies use and how this impacts residents, and this was about the fire map. On line 202, on page 7,
202?
no, 02, sorry,
Okay.
I misspoke. 02. The last name of Jennifer is Corse, I think. I'm not sure how to spell her last name.
C-O-R-S-E.
Okay. And then line 11 is, the motion was made by Councilmember Scafani and not Napier. And then somewhere in between line 20 and line 21 should be Rebecca Collins is supporting more involvement of the council for increased information to the public on this real property negotiations involvement by the city council. And then line 27, Councilmember Scafani should be Councilmember Napier. Does everybody think I'm insane right now?
I think you should get paid a lot more for your extracurricular work here.
We're gonna have to come up with a new plan for this, huh?
We can't table this if we have this many glaring problems and then.
If
we can
you
look at it
guys want to
later.
take this up at the end, you can do that.
I felt a little awkward, just kind of.
Yeah, it is a little awkward.
Monopolizing the whole
we
meeting
just
by
have-
this
I'd-
correction. But I do want to get it right. They're important.
No,
items.
these are
Yeah.
really
I mean,
important.
It's important.
Yeah.
It's not just a spelling that I'm.
Well,
being-
It's important. We have some issues that occurred. I think that we can address them. I don't want to hold up the entire meeting. to
Okay, so
review
here's
this
an
one by
alternate way
one.
that we
Sure.
can,
Yeah,
get there,
please.
okay? How about you give me your corrections? We are simply, my suggestion is we remove the minutes for A, B, C, and E. Were you okay with D? Yeah, that was a really short one. Oh, wait, why was E pulled?
Well, it was only a correction on the 26th, like the date on
Oh,
the
okay.
agenda. It wasn't
All
the
right.
minutes itself. It was on the agenda.
All right, if you can give me that,
Yeah.
we'll
I
just
sure
go
can.
ahead and continue these items to
Sure.
the January meeting.
Okay, no problem.
And then that way, it can all be done up. around that. So then the minutes from the 28th, you saw the same thing, because that was all the,
I did, not to the degree.
okay.
So if we can talk about the 28th, it's very fast.
Oh, we can do that. Okay, so we'll continue the April 20, it's not, poor
Yeah.
April, man.
I'll hand those over.
Continue to January meeting. Okay, and then we go to, thank you for all that work, though.
Yeah,
I mean, okay, so this is October 28th.
yes. So, top of the line, the title should be a regular council
Regular.
meeting again. And then just on, for the minutes themselves, line 32, 4 is repeated. It's not, that's pretty picky, but it says 4.4 on the consent agenda on line 32.
Oh, okay.
And then down on page 13, on line 18,
Yes.
that is Verda, Verda, Pitts,
Verta.
D.
D, okay. Yeah, I put the highlight there because I didn't recognize the name, and I was, when I reviewed it, I figured that would be one to call out for you for clarification.
Sure. And then on page 14, it's spelling errors of names. 29, line 29, Jenny Short. Jenny is spelled I-E. And then line 38, HCOG is HCAOG. And then there are some crazy capitalizations in Kent Sawatsky and Adeline Jones's names. And then line 48, Scafani and Louis Lusar are misspelled. So that was easy peasy.
That is easy peasy.
Okay, and so that was, I think, and then the next one, I guess my concerns kind of match Angela's concerns about the 25th of November. Those minutes kind of drop off. They don't appear to be complete. And so essentially, there was a lot of public comment on that meeting, but it wasn't written in the minutes, and so I didn't know if we were just not going to address.
No, that might have been, I was trying to get all of these things together, and I started writing, and I might have lost some of my,
And I have
My
notes on
notes.
who spoke in the public comments.
if you want to give those to me,
Sure,
that
yep.
would be really helpful.
Happy to do that, happy to do that.
And then, yeah, that would have just been me not pulling the right piece of paper in
No worries.
from my notes.
That is all I have. for you.
But I got the votes right?
Yeah, as far as I think so, yeah. No, yeah, it was very complete that way.
Can,
And
Yes,
I'm all
go ahead.
done now.
I guess I'm trying to piece together how the minutes were put together, at least in this present format. If this, I mean, with some of this work that Laura had already done, that we're just going back through. And then, I guess part of my question is that the minutes that we have from April and before have a lot of detail. And then I think it was kind of critical, a lot of the information that was shared from the ad hoc on the budget.
So it was actually very simple to explain.
Okay, great.
One is that John graciously volunteered to use AI to transcribe the April and the October minutes.
Okay,
The minutes that were taken for the 25th was me trying to participate in discussions and take minutes, and I cannot do both. Your
Okay,
city
it's rough.
manager cannot be both roles and have accurate minutes.
Totally.
It's too thin. So that's all that happened here. So somewhere I lost the names, because I tried to keep a separate piece of paper, so I clearly didn't get them imported in. So that was an error on my part. There was nothing else behind it other than juggling a lot.
Oh, no, I hope
Yeah.
that you don't
No,
think
no,
I'm
no,
implying
no,
anything.
it's fine.
It just, it's good to know so that AI actually, we kind of we washed it through AI first and.
Yeah, I
trying to
mean, in some
reconstitute,
ways,
yeah.
it did a great
Okay.
job of capturing it, but obviously it's not able to make the distinction between the voices if it's, mixing, folks up. I don't know how you fix that.
You would have to review, like, it's a good starting point, but then you have to
Yeah.
go back and actually watch it alongside it, so if that didn't, we
Right.
didn't, anyway.
Okay.
You
Or
need to
I would
review it,
say
yeah.
you could dovetail with taking off the first wash from the AI.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm doing my notes, I usually have motion second and then what the vote is, and I keep that on my cover sheets.
Right.
And so I think a combination of the two could be really good. Hopefully you get a city clerk that can actually, manage those pieces, and that would be great. So yeah, again, my apologies that I didn't catch that. I must have just lost my piece of paper with those notes of the public comment.
It's fine. Can I bring those to you?
Yes, you may.
May I approach the bench? There you go.
Oh, excellent.
Any other comments? Does the public wish to comment on the minutes? All right, seeing none,
Are we good on December 10th? Second, I mean?
are we done with the minutes?
I was good, yeah, with the rest.
Item number 7F,
Actually, no, not quite yet.
not quite yet, sorry.
Item E was the change to 26, but where?
No, it was only on the agenda. It wasn't on the minutes. I misspoke. It was only on the agenda tonight. It says it was from 2026. But the minutes themselves are fine.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay, all right.
I'll wait
Okay.
for your direction.
Item F,
7F.
go for it.
So I just wanted to note that Senate Bill 707 makes some changes to the Brown Act, which are fairly substantial in cities that are of a population of 30,000 or over. So for us, there are no changes. And is Ryan confirmed that? Because I did attend a webinar where they said a lot of things, but they also said, check with your attorney. So we are already doing some of the things that are being mandated. But I think that we'll just continue to do what we're doing and try to do them as well as we can, and in some cases, make some improvements. But there is no mandate to change anything that we're doing currently. I just wanted to share.
Thank you. Any other comments by council? Does the public wish to comment on that item about the Brown Act modifications that the California government has not imposed on us? Not yet. All right. Can we get a motion to pass the rest of the consent agenda?
Yeah, let's be specific about what items we're going to approve. I guess it would be 7D through J? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda items 7D through 7J.
Motion by Louis Lusso. Do we have a second?
Second?
Seconded by Scafani. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed?
Nay.
Nay. It appears a nay. Moving on to our public hearing items, comfort variance hearing continuation for application 25067. We have any staff here to speak on this item? Hi, sorry, what was your name again?
My name's Penelope Kirsch, and I'm
Penelope,
the city
thank-
planner.
Thank you so much.
So at the November 19th meeting, council voted to continue the meeting and request more information. Requested 3 items, one regarding building and fire code requirements for garage structures related to setbacks from property lines with street frontage, building and fire code requirements related to proximity to adjacent structures, and verifying the alley along the eastern boundary was indeed abandoned properly. So we sent out a referral the following day on November 20th to the building official and the volunteer fire department, and we received comments back. So for that first item, council was concerned specifically if reduced setbacks for that proposed garage would create a hazard for vehicles entering and exiting the property and affect the vision clearance when backing out onto the street. The building official responded and said building code does not address minimum setbacks for structures in residential areas, and setbacks are specifically specified in the zoning code in the local jurisdiction. And the fire department responded that fire code does not include any building setback requirements for approach or departure distances for private garages on private properties. The applicants did mention that they are using the garage primarily for storage and for parking a 4x4 ATV type vehicle in there. So the second item that was requested for information was setbacks between structures, specifically to east of the east property line. The building department responded that building code doesn't require a fire rated wall from the setback because they only require a fire rated wall if the proposed structure is within 5 feet of the setback, and the Comforts are proposing a 5-foot 7-inch setback from the property line. So in this case, it wouldn't require a fire rated wall. And the volunteer fire department responded that they defer to building setback requirements to the building code, which establishes fire resistant rating requirements for exterior walls and fire separation distances between buildings, and it has to be a minimum of 10 feet. Based off a Google Maps search and the Comfort's site plans, the structures are over 10 feet. So the neighboring property, the closest structure on the neighboring property to the east is 15 feet from the property line, and then about 25 feet from their structure. And then the Comforts also have a structure on the southeast corner that's already been there, and that's 15 feet. So those structures, the new proposed garage wouldn't require a fire rated wall based off those codes. And the last item was verification of the alley abandonment, and the Comforts were able to provide an APN map showing that the alley was abandoned in 1978, and then we followed up with the city, and they were able to provide us with the resolution confirming that, and that's provided in the packet. So with that being said, if council wishes to approve, then we have a resolution ready and prepared for you. Staff and the applicant are here for discussion and questions. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Does the council have any questions for staff?
I am not familiar with approving or being part of this process for variances. And so I had a question that had to do, I think, with like special considerations or like favoring somebody and allowing something. I know that all of the processes are there, but this is a variance for a reason. So I guess I just wanted to kind of bring that up. I'm not familiar with it.
So are you referring
like-
to ex parte communications?
No, more like just if somebody was just going to get special considerations because of,
Oh, how you justify a variance?
yeah. And
So
so I just,
basically,
I
the
need to
rules
do more
apply to
homework on
everybody.
this topic, I guess.
Yeah, so the rules apply to everybody unless you ask for a variance, and what that kind of looks like? Maybe
Yes.
Penelope can,
So in
Yeah.
order to address that, the code has 2 findings that you have to make, and it was in the
Okay.
previous staff report.
Mhm.
So the first one, it's very long and lengthy, but I'll read it to you. Would you like that, or?
No, I mean, yes, for information
Okay,
purposes,
okay.
absolutely, and I was there. I mean,
Okay.
I do remember this is very comprehensive work that's been done already, so. I appreciate
Okay,
it.
so the first finding, so that any variance granted shall be subject to the conditions as will assure that the adjustment thereby authorized shall not constitute a grant of special privilege inconsistent with the limitations upon other properties in the vicinity and in the zone which the subject property is situated. And because of these special circumstances applicable to subject property, including size, shape, topography, location, or surroundings, the strict application of the zoning regulations is found to deprive the subject property of privileges enjoyed by other properties in the vicinity and under identical zone classification. So that's the first one. The second one, the variance granted will not be contrary to the intent of the zoning regulations or the public interest, safety, health, and welfare, and where due special conditions or exceptional characteristics of such property is located or surroundings. A literal enforcement of the zoning regulations would result in practical difficulties and unnecessary hardship. So, lots of words and lots of things.
Yeah, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, that was all I had, just like the
Does that
general,
help
like,
clarify a
Yeah.
little bit better?
it does, yeah, I appreciate it.
Any other questions for staff? Yes.
Yeah. What prohibits the proposed structure from being built within the established setbacks?
I think the applicant could better answer that question. I'm provided with their justification, and from what I've been told, and from what the materials they've given me, there is a tree located between their structure and the other structure that's on the southeast corner, and if they were to move it back, they would probably have to cut down that tree. But they are here to confirm that and give more information onto why they're requesting that variance.
But, and then why does the structure have to be the size it is? I mean, it could also be reduced to accommodate the tree. I mean, these are,
That is a great question, and I believe the applicant can speak better to that.
okay. While you're up here, I have a question for you, and I appreciate that you guys were able to double back to the building inspector and the others. Maybe I can just show you here, if you don't mind. So
Can
here
you
is
cite the page that you're looking at, Kat?
Yeah, I'm looking at page 112. Thank you for having the individual page numbers on that. It's figure 1, the site plan, and shows an existing shop, and it shows that, 4 feet 9 inches from the property line. And then we have the proposed shop next to it, which is now 8 foot 9. But what this doesn't show is the property next to it and the garage. And that falls about in this line as best as I could estimate. And so when we draw, if you were to draw a line between these, this is obstructing the view of that garage. And I think that we are creating a greater challenge for whoever is backing out of the neighbor's garage. I mean, it's a short space. It puts that vehicle in a position where they already can't see if they pulled in, they can't see on the left-hand side. Now they wouldn't be able to see on the right-hand side. And on that street, there are already speed bumps trying to address speeding. And then compound that with, as I understand it, when you do, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when you do improvements to your property, you have to do the sidewalks. And so where that sidewalk is going to be placed and the lines of sight, we're kind of encouraging people to walk right into the blind spot of somebody who's backing out. Is it possible to still fit that building to where, at least with the existing shop and that neighbor's garage, it wouldn't encroach on that line of sight that's currently existing?
You're saying move it back at least to here?
Yeah,
Where
wherever,
this is?
if you were to take a line from the northeast corner of that shed and scribe that over to the northwest corner of the neighboring garage,
Have it set back.
that would establish the existing line of sight or visual clearance, whatever you want to call it. It's just, if you're making the active choice to build a larger building and you don't want to cut a tree, well, then you're further encroaching, and it's, whether the landlord of the neighboring building is indifferent to it, it still is imposing a risk on those who have to back out of that building and those who might be walking on that road. So if that building size can be accommodated simply by moving it back, then, we're kind of remaining whole on a safety issue.
Okay, I think the applicant might be able to speak more to that, or their contractor that's here tonight. But that is something that we can consider. As we mentioned before, there is no code requiring vision clearance for that specific building. But I hear you, and I'm hearing your suggestions.
But we do have the 15-foot setback,
Yes, we
which
do.
kind of, that
Yes.
creates that visual clearance. And so, here, we're taking what was an existing shop, and they're calling it a garage. and then we're taking that garage and we've made it quite a bit larger. It could be placed further to the west, it could be placed to the south. But if you, wanted to maximize the use of your property, I understand that, I support that. But it also, in my view, has to be balanced with the impacts to other users in that area. Ultimately, if we have these codes, we know that at some point, each of these other older buildings that might be well within those established setbacks, they're going to reach end of life too. And I think that's kind of what you expect over time. Non-conforming buildings move on, and then you build in a conforming manner.
Councilmember Dampier, do you mind if I review your document?
Of course.
And
Is that
as
okay?
for the public improvements, this structure and this size of the project wouldn't trigger having to install a sidewalk along their property.
It would not?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just curious, just,
I'm not sure what the threshold is, but, oh,
Gary.
okay. Gary can explain that.
So it's identified in the city sidewalk ordinance and the municipal code, and it's usually a new main building, like if you were building a residence, for example, that's the language that's used. Also, if you were to do an addition that's like 50% or more of the square footage within 1 year, that also could be a trigger, but things like accessory buildings don't trigger.
Does the applicant wish to speak on this item, or is there any comment or questions from council for staff? Hi,
Hey, how's everybody?
good, thank you.
My name is Frank Gonsalves. I will be a contractor possibly building this if the variance is approved tonight. As far as moving it back on the property, there is a structure that is existing there. So we're trying to maintain for firewood and to be able to, there's a Jeep parked there now. That's part of the reason why Mr. Comfort would like to keep it forward. I wasn't able to see the picture as far as line of sight goes. But the Comfort's parked there now. I don't have the paperwork up, but where they park now, they've been backing in and out of there for 50 years. Never been an issue. With the speed bumps are there to slow people down, to help the matter, I think, and the way, their property a little bit special, their property actually goes into the street about 7 feet. And so that's also part of the reason why there will be no sidewalks, because to do the 40-foot wide, the power pole on the opposite side of the street would be in the roadway. So that's old business, that's kind of got moved forward, and then with the structure that's there now, when it gets torn down, the Comfort's line of sight will actually improve. Yeah, so, and I don't know if there's any other questions. I do have some pictures of other places in town here that are within that have variances,
Sure,
all
please.
within a few blocks of the Comforts.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. To be clear, it isn't the Comfort's ability to see or the restriction on theirs, it is that neighboring property to the east.
Sure.
The further that building is located to the east, the more it restricts their line of sight.
Sure.
And they would be backing in immediately into traffic that's coming down the road.
And Public Works, the fire department, and the building department have all signed off saying.
Well, they haven't
It would be
necessarily
fine.
signed off, they're saying that there isn't code
they're
specific
saying
to that.
So. They don't see a problem
Yeah.
with it. Public Works did say that it was okay to go.
Well,
They
I
thought
don't,
it was okay.
I appreciate that, I don't know how much Public Works regularly
I
weighs
don't
in
know how they,
on the health and
that's
safety.
just what I read in the
Yeah.
report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kat, would you mind casting the pictures?
Sure. All these pictures.
Yes, please go ahead.
Hi, I'm Lorraine Comfort. We've lived at 540 Wall for about 50 years. We've been backing out of the existing driveway for about 50 years. We've never had an issue. And in fact, with that new, what we like to do, we'll have a better line of sight. And that garage that is there, we've used it primarily as a storage. But in the beginning, we used it some, and apparently the people who lived there before used it also. It does have a garage door. And I just want to address something that had to do with a letter that you all got from Dennis Poor in reference to us. And I don't know if any of what you guys are feeling about this situation has anything to do at all with Dennis Poor. But what happened is the city said to Dennis Poor, he had 3 lots. And the city said to us, we had 1 lot. So Mr. Poor came to us and thought it was our issue that we should give him that property. So in the beginning, it all just started like that. And what we understood from all of that was that they had reset whatever the markers you use to do the subdivision. And back in the early days, we had markers there that were pointed out to us, and the street was bright for us. So I mention that only because, you know, if you're thinking about that, we didn't take any money from Dennis Poor, we didn't take any property from him, or any of those kinds of things. And we're really hoping to build this garage, and we really feel that it will make the neighborhood better looking. It'll be better to do that, and I wasn't quite sure what you were referring to when you were talking about the other garage people parking out. Were you talking about the people behind us?
No, if you were, I guess, in your shed looking out at the street,
Uh-huh.
the neighbor to the right.
Okay, to our right, on our side of the street.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the side that is shared with where your
Right.
new garage is.
Okay,
And the point that I'm making isn't that your line of sight is restricted. It's that the more that that building is moved over to the right, even though it's moved back, which is great,
Yeah.
but the more it's moved over to the right, then it begins to go into that, what the current
Right.
visual field that they have to see when they're
Right.
backing out.
yeah, the gal who lives there, Stephanie, she has 2 vehicles, and she parks, she doesn't park in the garage, she parks right there along the street, and she parks, you know, near the line. And I can hear Stephanie every morning because she has this great car with these great pipes, and when she starts out, I mean, she doesn't go fast. People in our neighborhood pay attention. And one of the nice things about getting those speed bumps was that people pay more attention. And I don't feel like it's gonna be any issue, probably for anybody as far as our neighbors go and that sort of thing. So I just wanted to mention those 2 things. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
Lorraine, can you
Yes.
tell us when those speed bumps were installed?
Maybe a year or more, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Any further comments from the applicant?
I'd like to speak on one more thing.
Yes, please go ahead.
Can I show you this picture?
Of course,
I don't know if you have it. I don't know if you showed it, but there is a structure that's here. And so if, let me see here. If we line up, this is where the shed is now, that's the comfort zone. If we line that up with this here, we're actually gonna be 4 feet back. So this line of sight compared to this side here is actually probably around 4 feet better than it is on this side. So if you kind of line up, we're actually gonna be an additional 4 feet is what we're asking for. So I don't know if your paper, I didn't see what you had drawn.
Sure, let me show you as best I can.
So I'm wondering, maybe while they're working that out,
Yes.
maybe we just
Drawing
take a
with our
short
colors.
break.
Okay.
And then they can restate things on the record.
Keep it in now.
Who can restate things on the
Wherever
record?
that, wherever
They
that
can
lands.
summarize
It
and
needs to go that way
restate
or
the
this way.
record, their
But
discussion.
because it's this one right
That
here.
hashed out, because
And that
right
doesn't matter
now,
how
Yeah.
the
they're
current
looking at a map,
references
people
it,
can't
it's
see it
what
or
we're
understand it,
establishing.
not
You
even
see what I'm
yourselves.
saying?
Thank you.
Because when
Yeah.
they come out,
So we're gonna take a,
it's pretty far.
Well, this is.
I guess we're gonna take a quick
We're gonna be.
5-minute break and we'll back
But
in
you're
just a
also
moment.
going where